Hello and welcome to Glow Up Girly. I am your local auntie, TT Rosie, and today I will discuss with you my top 5 self-love habits that I swear by. Let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, if you want, please like, share, and subscribe. All right. So I'm gonna start from number 5 and work my way to number 1 because number 1 is highly important and you are going to want to stick around for it. All right, so number 5. My number 5 self-love habit that I swear by is I keep my hair and my nails done. Got to. One thing that I learned a long time ago, I used to watch a TV show of with this football player, Deion Sanders, Primetime, must be the money. But he had this TV show with his family. And one thing that he said, it really stuck with me. He used to say, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. So that's just one thing that I do. I'm a girl. I'm a girly girl. So I love to look cute. And, I do my own hair. I have a background in barbering and cosmetology. So that actually allows me to save hella money on taking care of myself. So me personally, I love to pamper myself. There is no one that's going to pamper me and make me feel good the way I can make me feel good. So, yeah, so I do my own hair. I do my own nails. I wear different color hair and wear my nails different lengths, different styles. And that's just me. I'm an artist. I'm left-handed. So I like to get creative, but that makes me feel good about me. Everyone has their own outlook or their own view on what their self-love habits are or what they do to make them feel good or feel great about themselves. So me personally, I like to do my own hair. I definitely like to do my own nails because all the stuff that I like to do with my nails, I know if I went to a salon, they're gonna charge me an arm and a leg. And then also, a lot of times people, they're not as creative as I would like for them to be. I'm just being honest. So I like to pamper myself and, do my things myself. So today's my hair is blonde. Tomorrow my hair might be ombre turquoise. The day after that, it might be purple. And that works for me. I I've always been like this since I was a kid. I've always made my look work for me and for what I like, not for everyone else. I validate myself. So that's one thing I love about me and my self-love is that I love myself enough that I'm satisfied with what the way I put myself together. And if other people don't like it, that's not my business. All right. So number 4, I keep up with my skincare and my lip care. Years ago, I started having acne when I was in my early 20s. I used to, I just started breaking out. I went through a breakup with this guy I was with, and my face just started breaking out. And at first, it was on the left side of my face, but then as over time, it started to grow on the right side of my face. And I was getting blackheads, I was getting whiteheads, and I used to bust them sometimes, and sometimes I wouldn't. And sometimes I would try things that work and things, like I would try things that, might work, but I don't know because I didn't do it long enough. I was sleeping in my makeup. I was just doing a lot of things to my skin that, or wasn't. It wasn't even things that I was doing. It was my lack of skincare that was the problem. Once I got older, I started getting more into skincare, and I just do a really simple skincare regimen, but it works for me. I, make sure I take my makeup off before I go to bed at night. I cleanse, I tone, I moisturize. And for those of y'all who say, oh, well, you don't need to wear makeup, I like wearing it and I'm going to wear it. And that's the end of the story. But, anyways, not only was I not taking care of my skin and not drinking a lot of water like I needed to drink, I was also smoking. I was a smoker, right? And so my lips were very dark. If you ever see any old pictures of me, um, I most likely looked older then than I look now. But my skin was broke out bad. I had really dark smoker's lips, and I've made a lot of efforts to improve that. And now I love my skin. My skin looks so much better. I still get a breakout here or there, but it's not what it used to be. So that's number 4. Number 4 is that I make sure that I keep up with a skin and lip care regimen. All right. Number 3, I make my own self-care products. That's another thing that I prefer to do for myself. Some of you guys, your way might be to go out and buy self-care products, and that's fine. But for me, I make my own bath salts. I make my own lip gloss. I make my own body butter. I make my own body spray. I still get stuff from the store, but for the most part, I prefer to make my own. I make my own lip balm. I make my own lip plumper. Um, and that works for me. It may not work for you, and I do it for my daughter as well. I make our hair oil. I make put herbs in the oil and let it sit. And so I use my own homemade oil to oil our scalps with. And I asked my daughter the other day because she ran out of the lip balm that I made her, and I'm like, would you rather me get you some lip balm from the store, or would you rather me make you some lip balm? She really quickly just make me some lip balm. And that make me feel good as a mom that she prefer my products. Like I make her lip balm, make her lip butter, and she has her own signature body spray. Like the fragrance that I use is just her personal signature. So but yeah, so number three is I make my own self care products. Number four, one thing I do for self love for me, and I really, really want you guys to really think about this as well. I don't blame myself for other people's poor treatment of me. Okay. I think a lot of times when we deal with people, whether it be romantic relationships, relationships with family, relationships with friends, with jobs, people mistreat us and we always find some type of way to blame ourselves. We're not finna keep doing that. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop blaming ourselves for other people's bad behavior. It's always somebody that say us, we got to do better. It's not always a we. It's not always a us. It's not always we are doing things. A lot of times people are just messed up people and they treat you bad. And when they do, don't blame yourself. If you are in a toxic relationship and that person that you are with then went out and stepped outside the relationship and cheated on you, stop blaming yourself. Stop letting the side person tell you what it must be something you wasn't doing right. It don't matter. You It's not your responsibility to decide whether a person is going to be a good person or not. That's on them to decide whether they are going to be a good person or not. So don't blame yourself. You are not to blame. If somebody else chooses to do something against you, that is not your fault. That's their fault for being a bad person. Period. So I'm not taking the blame. I'm not taking the blame for somebody mistreating me. I just refuse to do it, and that's just what it is. I'm not blaming myself for anybody treating me bad. It's their fault. Their fault. They did it. I didn't do it. All right, that's number two. Number one. This is a very, very important one. And some of y'all probably finna get off the line with me when I say this, but I'm speaking from the heart. And I'm speaking from someone who has been there and done that. But my number one self love habit that I live by is I quit smoking and I quit drinking. Back when I was, young in my 20s, I used to go out, I used to party a lot. And when I used to go out, like first I started off, smoking, weed. I don't know if it was, the greenery, and I did that a lot, right? But and that's not bad. But when it came to the tobacco, that's where the problem came in it. Because like I would go out, and when I would go out, I would have a drink, and then a lot of times when I went out, I would have like two drinks, right? But the thing is, I was young with no kids, right? So when I would go out, I went out several times out the week. I would go out on Tuesdays. Sometimes I skip Monday. This one time, me and my friend, we went out 7 nights in a row, And then I thought about it. Out of all these nights that I'm going out and I'm kicking and I'm clubbing, I'm having maybe one or two drinks. You know what I'm saying? And I have to really pay attention to that because I'm like, well, I don't want to become an alcoholic, So, but I was really more of a smoker. And I smoked for so many years. And, it's not a healthy thing. So I didn't realize at that time when I was doing it that I looked a little older. You know, I didn't realize that until now that I am actually older because now I've gone several years without drinking. I've gone several years without smoking. And when I tell you, I Benjamin Button. If you don't know what Benjamin Button is, look it up. But I feel like I look better now as an older adult than I did back when I was younger in my 20s. One of my family members said, "Oh, that's because your eyebrows." Because I used to like, shape my eyebrows back then. Thin eyebrows used to be in, but now thick eyebrows in. She was like, "Oh, it's just because your eyebrows thicker or whatever." But no, like my lips were so dark. Not only were they dark, when you smoke, your lips, they are not receiving that moisture that they need to receive, and so your lips are a little bit thinner, and then they can get a little bit thinner, and then they get really dark. Like right now I have a little makeup on, but even without the makeup, my lips look so much better. And I remember, like, it happened gradually, but I remember one day I was on the phone with my friend. We was on video chat, and I was in California with my family, and she said something to me like, "Girl, did your lips get bigger with age or something?" It was something like that she said, but she just don't know how good that made me feel, because back then when my lips were so dark, I was ashamed, and so I would always make sure that I had some type of like a lighter color on my lips all the time when I went out. And I used to be like, "Dang, I'm black. Why my lips not puffy? Why my lips not big?" But now I love I love my lips, and even my skin. And I really strongly attribute that to me not smoking or drinking anymore. Well, drinking was not really a problem, but I nipped it in the bud before it became a problem. But it's really the smoking, and I did it for so long. And I think that when you smoke, it ages you. And speaking as a woman, as a lady, a lot of times when we do things, it shows outwardly. So if you are someone who you smoke a lot, it's obvious sometimes, just by looking at you. Um, when I used to smoke, people could see it in my eyes. And then also my lips was very dark. Um, then, if you drink, I don't know if you guys notice this, but it's something that I call alcoholic face, because some people, when they drink a lot, you can see it in their face, right? So we talking glow up, right? So when you're glowing up, that means that you are removing toxic things from out of your life that are dimming your light. When you glow up, that means you are light, you're enlightening yourself, you're shining, you want to grow and glow, right? So part of that glow up is taking evaluation of the things in your life that are toxic to you, whether it be our relationships, whether it be our jobs, whether it be our habits that we have with ourselves. Maybe we have hygiene habits that we need to work on. Maybe we have food habits that we need to work on. Glowing up is changing things about yourself that is not conducive to your growth. So for me, smoking and drinking was not conducive to my growth. And I didn't even realize, like, when I stopped for God. I stopped for to change and just to live. I wanted a better life. I wanted to be more healthy than I was. But I did not realize that when I stopped, that it was going to show outwardly. Now, I don't believe that I look like I smoke. If you look at pictures of me from back then, I definitely look like I smoked. You can see it in my eyes and you can see it on my lips. But now that I'm not doing those things, I know for a fact that I look a lot better now than I did back then. So I'm sharing these tips as encouragement to you all, because that's our goal, right? Our goal is to glow and to grow, right? So part of that is us reflecting within ourselves and seeing, what can I do to enhance my life? What can I do to have my glow up season, right? So I hope this video gave you value. If it did give you value, I highly encourage you to subscribe. Please also like and share this video. And if share your tips, share your tips down in the comments. What are your 5 or your top things that you like to do to share self-love to yourself? I love to hear from you. So once again, this is your local TT Rosie, and this is Glow Girly. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great day.